Hey guys, welcome back to Roots and Refuge Farm. My name's Tori, and in today's video, I want you to sit down with me and my friend Jess. I have been inspired by Jess for many, many years now, probably since I was pregnant with my son. He is about to be 7 at the end of this year. So my son is 6, and I do have my daughter who's 5, and I have boy-girl twins who are 3, they're about to be 4. So at the end of June, I will have 2 4-year-olds, a 5-year-old, and a 6-year-old. So that's just a little bit about me in case you're new here. Thank you so much for being here. If you're not new here, thank you for sticking around and following us on our journey. We are growing our farm here in the, well, we're between the Midlands of South Carolina and upstate South Carolina, sort of near the Greenwood, Edgefield area. Anyway, Jess has been, in my mind, a friend, a sister, mentor in many ways, especially in the garden and in life. As a mom, I've been extremely inspired by her. Obviously, as a gardener, I've been extremely inspired by her. But also, as a writer, you know, when I think about my future, writing is a huge part of that. She has written a gardening book. She's written a first-time homesteader book, which I've learned a ton from. And I hope that there are many more books in her future. Yeah, I aspire to write books as well, so hopefully one day that will be part of my future. But yeah, at the Homestead Festival this past weekend, I got to sit down with her and I completely froze up, which is so strange because there's so many things that I wish I could just talk to her about, ask her about, you know, get her input on. As many people who know who she is, I'm sure they feel the same way, but then they meet her and it's just completely mind blank. So I decided to leave this video pretty raw. There's 1 or 2 things that I did cut out just because it was like someone came up to the table or it was just awkward. But yeah, for the most part, this is a completely raw conversation between Jess and myself, and you will see that Jess really carries me in that conversation. So when I first started talking to her, I was so nervous that I honestly just thought, okay, she'll introduce herself, tell you a little bit about, you know, where you can find her, and then that would be it. And I didn't even think about asking her anything, which is so strange. I can't believe I just, anyways, I definitely had a fangirl moment, and I think that everyone should know who she is. So, without further ado, because it's raining, I have to get inside. Without further ado, here is the conversation between me and my friend Jess. Okay, hey guys, welcome back to the Homestead Festival in Tennessee. My name is Victoria. This is, of course, if you don't know, Jessica Sowards, and I'm pinching myself right now. I can't believe I'm sitting here. But I just want to let her introduce herself. If by a chance you don't know who she is, you should. So here we go.
As mentioned, my name is Jess, and I make content. I teach homesteading and gardening and cooking, and hopefully encourage people and just living life. Roots and Refuge. We have a couple other channels too at this point. I have the Farmer's Table is my cooking channel, and then Maya's Workshop.
Yeah, I have followed you for years. But yeah, extremely. Maya's Workshop.
Yeah, we're introduced.
Yes.
So.
Oh, I guess that was it then. Really, that was kind of.
You want to ask any questions?
Mine completely blank.
Let's see. Well, you could ask about what it's like doing festivals. Are you doing like a theme of your videos just to experience?
Yeah, well, we were in England for 5 years and I never thought I'd actually get to come. So I'm trying to get clips here and there of actually being here, what it's like. So yeah.
I find that for a lot of people, you know, whenever they don't get to travel for whatever the reason, I have a lot of people that I talk to that are elderly or disabled in their home, and they're like, I get to see the world and experience things because you share them with me. So like when you're making this video, you can realize that, like, I mean, I'm sure you felt that when you were in England, like watching people's videos.
Oh, I would cry.
Oh, that's what it's like. Okay.
Living vicariously is not exactly the same thing as being here. Yeah. It's very different, but it's also kind of humbling in a way, because when you see it online, you don't realize like extra stuff that's going on. But yeah, walking around and talking to people and seeing the things that they're doing, it blows my mind.
It's encouraging to me just because the homesteading way or lifestyle, it can feel so isolating. And having a dream that you look at a culture and a society that doesn't seem to really value that dream can be very discouraging, and it can make you feel like maybe you're crazy sometimes. Like, am I crazy for even wanting this? And for me, coming to a place that like at least everybody here at least has the interest in it, or they care about somebody who has the interest in it enough to come and support them.
Yeah.
And there's like thousands of people here. Yeah, and it's just, it's so encouraging to me, because it's like, though there may be isolating moments, that doesn't mean you're actually alone.
Yeah. It's hard too, because as far as isolation goes, my ex, my kid's dad, he very much was against all of this, and over the years that was a big part of why we kind of separated. It was a whole lot more than that, but that was a big part of it. And so now I feel like I can push forward with what I want and with the kind of life I want my kids to have. Yeah. And then yeah, so that to me is very freeing. Yeah. And then my parents are obviously supportive. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but they're supportive. My dad has like 20 something acres of pine trees. And, awesome. But it's all pine trees. You can't really put a goat in the middle of pine trees. Is it there in South Carolina, or they? Oh yeah, no, we're so you're with them. Yeah, that's where you're in South Carolina. I know you're close to me. I mean, you're like probably 25 or 30. Sorry, I've only mentioned that once or twice. But yeah, we're there. We're currently looking. Me and the kids would like to move to property that's not full of pine trees. But yeah, learning how to move forward, and that's one thing that really speaks to me in your content, is making your waiting room your classroom, and learning what are you going to do when you have land, or what are you going to do when you have the garden that's overflowing, and which actually we're about to have that. So but yeah, we've been my dad has given me his garden basically for this season, and awesome. It's just incredible. I put up my arches for the first time. I've never gotten to do that before. I've been living vicariously through you for that. And, so now you're at that point where all that vicarious living is like starting to like becoming. That is so good. It's scary. You know, that's one thing I probably don't talk enough about in turning your waiting room into a classroom, is that like there is a certain measure of being willing to live vicariously. Living vicariously is painful. Like, and there's a scripture that says hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a promise fulfilled is the tree of life. And I think that I think the reason why like getting your hands as dirty as you can in the waiting period, it kind of helps your heart sickness. And it doesn't make it go away. It doesn't, you are still heart sick and when you're longing. But it's almost like a little bit of pain relief for the heart sickness, you know? But then I find that when the promise is fulfilled and you have that tree of life, like you know what to do with it. When you are willing to be brave enough to feel the pain of it, you know? Right. Good job. But yeah, a whole nother side of all of this is yesterday in your talk you spoke about Ben, I think it was, who likes to ride horses, and you see him in the future with a beard. Not the horse, but Ben. That I just about broke down crying, because I have, like I said, all 4 of my kids here, and a big part of us being back in South Carolina is what kind of life do I want them to have as they grow up. You know, England just wasn't it. Yeah. Like the middle of town with a neighbor literally right beside us. Yeah. Wasn't it. Yeah. And anyway, so yeah, it's just incredible to actually sit here and get to talk to you. So thank you for time. Absolutely, it's my joy. I do for everything you do. All right, so there you have it. I hope that you enjoyed that little conversation. It was short, but it was sweet, and it definitely blessed me in many, many ways. So follow Jess at Roots and Refuge Farm on YouTube and Instagram, Facebook. They do have a Patreon as well. In fact, through Jess, I was inspired to start my own Patreon for Roots and Arrows Farm. And we post content there and here, blog posts, vlogs, sometimes extra vlogs or extra blog posts that don't go to the website or YouTube. And yeah, just support her because she and her family are amazing. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Be safe, be blessed. I'll see you in the next one.